The scream echoed through the concrete ribs of my livestock tunnel like a siren trapped in a culvert. Vivian Crowell, president of the Stonebridge Hollow HOA, stood waist-deep in water, her pristine suit ruined, her convoy of shiny SUVs gasping in the flood. Someone pounded on glass, another yelled into a dead walkie-talkie, and I sat on the ridge above, sipping sweet tea, boots dry, hat tipped. You're wondering how we got here, how a private agricultural undercrossing became a suburban shortcut, why the road Vivian built turned into a bathtub, and why I looked so calm watching it all unfold. Let's rewind to the quiet days, to a time when this land was just hay, oil, and the hum of a chipped enamel mug, and trace the steps to this moment of reckoning. My granddad bought this land in 1948, when Salt Cedar County was more cattle than cul-de-sacs. 26 acres shaped like a horseshoe around a creek, a sagging porch farmhouse, a big barn, and a tunnel under County Road 19. That tunnel, dug by a local crew paid in cash, beer, and pie, was wide enough for a small herd or a stubborn horse. Its gates, welded from old pipe, creaked with purpose. It wasn't just concrete and gravel, it was a seam between pastures, a quiet route for when the sky threatened to break. When Granddad passed, I traded my city life for flannel and a socket set, fixed the hinges, cleared the brush, and kept the tunnel's drainage ditch open. It was private, useful ours. Then came Stonebridge Hollow, an upscale subdivision with cookie-cutter homes and rules about mailbox shapes. For a while, we coexisted them over there, me over here, sharing only the sky. But Phase 4 pushed against my fence, and a red plastic stake appeared in my grass like a warning. I pulled it, thinking it was a kid's prank. Then orange paint marked my south gate, and soon gravel trucks were dumping limestone into my livestock path. A guy in a polo from the Stonebridge Hollow Improvement Committee waved a clipboard, muttering about permits, and told me to contact Vivian Crowell. I tried calls, emails, but got nowhere. One morning, I found Granddad's gate cut down, the tunnel paved, lit with LEDs, and fitted with a keypad like a country club. My private passage was now their shortcut. Stonebridge didn't stop at paving my tunnel. They demolished their original road off County Road 19, funneling every minivan, stroller, and golden retriever through my undercrossing. My grass became a parking lot, my fence a bulletin board for complaints. At a zoning meeting, I raised concerns about private property and flood risks, but the conversation shifted to pickleball courts. A stamped letter claimed compliance with county ordinances, bureaucratic for not our problem. So I dug deeper, literally and figuratively, poring over records and plats. I found their road demolition mislabeled as infrastructure decommissioning, and my tunnel rebranded as an emergency egress enhancement, without fire department approval. Every document since 1949 confirmed it. Private agricultural undercrossing, no easement, non-commercial. The real gut punch came with FEMA's floodplain overlays. My tunnel sat in a 100-year overflow zone, meant to stay unobstructed for water flow. But Stonebridge's latest map erased that designation, replaced with a green corridor, rubber-stamped by Derek Vance, head of inspections and Vivian's cousin. Their emergency enhancement was approved in 12 days, a process that usually takes months. In Granddad's tin strongbox, I found a 1935 covenant, clear as neon. The tunnel could not be used for commercial or residential traffic, nor as ingress for neighboring parcels, in perpetuity. My lawyer, Nora Pritchard, called it a silver bullet. But I didn't just want to stop them, I wanted the lesson to stick. When Stonebridge announced their Tunnel Jubilee, a ceremonial drive-through with pancakes and a balloon arch, I saw my chance. I cleared the old intake ditch, refurbished the manual relief gate, and tested the system. The pasture puddled fast, then drained when I reopened the valves, controlled, safe, a demonstration. I welded heavy swing gates disguised as cattle guards at both tunnel ends. I called Maya Leong, a reporter who knew HOA nonsense firsthand. She arrived with a camera and a kayak, ready to capture the story. My plan wasn't to harm, but to let the land speak, to remind Stonebridge that water follows its own rules. Parade day dawned with steady rain. At 9:13, Vivian led her convoy into the tunnel, white minivan, black Lexus, Subaru with tennis stickers, all following her like a drum major. I hit close on my phone, and the swing gates slammed shut with a steel note that echoed like consequences. Then I opened the relief valves. Water rumbled through the culvert, rising to ankles, then doors. Backup lights flickered, walkie-talkies failed, and Vivian's arms windmilled as she spotted me on the ridge, thermos in hand, giving a polite salute. I cracked the gates open after the lesson landed mid-shin water, humbling but not dangerous. Maya's footage caught it all, including a firefighter's quip about cutting corners on permits. Maya's story led the 10 o'clock news, went viral, and sparked an audit. The county froze Stonebridge's accounts, and the DA charged Vivian with municipal fraud, falsifying records, and criminal trespass. Nora's civil suit won us damages, court-ordered restoration, and a 500-foot injunction around my property. The HOA's charter was dissolved, and Stonebridge became just a neighborhood again. I installed a new steel gate, no keypad, just a sign, private passage. Trespassers will be educated. With the Thompson kids, I painted a mural on the tunnel wall, a cartoon SUV bobbing in water, a lesson in consequences. The Range Rover left in the tunnel became a relic, ivy threading its wheels, birds nesting in its cup holders. Kids point at it, asking about rules and who they're for. Stonebridge changed, tomatoes replaced ornamental grasses, hopscotch ladders bloomed on sidewalks, and neighbors brought pies and notes of thanks. I joined the land use board, not for power but to keep the menu honest. This wasn't about revenge, it was about truth. When someone paves over your history and calls it progress, you don't bow to paperwork, you make the paperwork bow to the land. So I ask you, where's your line? When the rules are used to steal what's yours, do you let the water speak, or do you fight another way?